Hello, and welcome to my live stream. This is Rever. I am just sort of testing to make sure I got everything right. It's a little bit early. I planned on 5 o'clock, so I don't want to get started too soon in case people are not on the early side, but at the same time, welcome. I can see I have one concurrent user. I think I have the chat down there, so I think that will work and that everybody can see it. Last time I didn't have that going, so we'll see. Hopefully I didn't change any settings to make things not work, right? Let me know if you can hear me. Then again, I guess if you can't hear me, I wouldn't know it. All right, well, on my end, things look good. The one thing I don't know is if you can hear me or not. So let me just do this and see. You can see it. Last time there we go. I don't know if I can hear you. So wonderful. So we're going to wait until about 5 o'clock to get really going. But if you guys have any questions or comments for me, just let me know. All right. One of the things I'd like to ask everybody is if we, what we're going to do. So if we take a look, we'd only have $700,000, and we're not going to be able to start a lot of businesses. So I'm of 3 mines here at this point. Do we get gravel going, which is obviously a basic necessity for everything else we're going to do, but gravel's pretty cheap, and it's not like the kind of thing that is going to be that easy to export and make much money. So we're really going to need to get to some kind of an export kind of situation. We could come up here and we could get some iron going, and we could get some steel going. Now the problem with that is we're gonna have to build a whole town up here, and with our money I'm not real sure how realistic that is. So like we got a really some good iron spots, or good enough iron spots over here, that I think we could get an iron mine, like say down here, which is really not that high up in the hills, and get a steel mill say right below it, which would be reasonably cheap. Now I'm going to build everything manually, so I have to build a road up there. You know, you can't just send trucks up there to magically build things if you're going to do it all manually. So that's really one of the things that's going to make this hard. So I'd like your guys' opinion. Another thing I was thinking of is building some, like a farm or something, even if it's kind of like not the greatest farm you've ever seen. I think I could almost build from this construction place that I have placed. You know, I could build a town right here, and I don't think the farm would be that expensive. And we could at least get some food and maybe even whiskey and that kind of stuff going, and not have to pay for that stuff, which tends to be a big expense, especially as you get more people. So, let me know what you think about that, if you have an opinion. Let me make sure that everything is going right now. That we have about 3 minutes till 5, according to my clock. There we go. I wanted to make sure that the chat was working since I hadn't heard anything. It seems to be working from my end, but my end's not exactly your end. So anyway, I think it's close enough to 5 o'clock to get started, and I'll kind of repeat myself again, but I'd like to get your guys' input on how we get started, and we'll have a little time here. I have time paused. This is hard enough. I'm not going to worry about that we run time every minute of the day. But what I plan on doing to get started, because I just think it makes sense and it doesn't cost us any money, is to at least just get a dirt road built all the way up to Molna there. And we can always, convert it to gravel. If you read through or watched the initial video, you'll know I don't plan on just running a power line up there, which would solve 85% of our money woes, right? I mean, if we just took this power wire and ran a big power wire, unless I build a gravel road all the way up there. So this will also give us a bit of an idea of the extent to how far we can build with this guy. So I'm just going to take a road and kind of follow the stream as best I can. And I want to see if we can even, I think I'll stay, it matters too much at this point. So hopefully we can go right up over that, but I don't know if I can even terraform that far away. So there's a nice flat area right here if we wanted to build something. Can I get up this hill? The biggest issue about getting this road there. Yeah, so we'll build this up a little bit on the bottom. It's good. We can terraform this far anyway. Which is going to matter when it comes to, can we even place a steel mill, So let me get this. See, we can't even get up over this hill. Well, we might be able to, but not that far. Now, there is a bit of a delay. Yeah, I can't even get that far, so all right, let's forget that we did that, and we're just going to have to go around with our little road here. Let's turn it so I can go. I guess it's better to go right down the middle, more or less. I don't want to get too close to the river in case I decide to build a... Well, I guess I should go to one side or the other, or at least leave enough room on one side or the other. If we ever did a railroad track, though railroad tracks at this point seem like a faraway dream. But I'll try not to just... I'll try to stay maybe to the hillside, if that makes sense. Not that I'm too worried about our road versus railroad tracks, but this road can't even go in the yellow or else it won't. Can we get all the way there? As a matter of fact, I know we can one way or the other because I've done it. I've done this before, so. Now I can see that there's a few people watching, which is great. I would appreciate it if you guys would chat something. I mean, not everybody has to, but if one person chats something, I'll be happy to see that it's that's kind of a, let's undo that. A little bit of an extreme turn there, wasn't it? So this way, with this road, we're paused, so it's not costing us any money for a dirt path. With this road, at least, we could send somebody up here with some exports, but I don't know what would happen with the whole gas situation, right? All right, so where are we heading in the right direction? I should double check. Yeah, Molna. Yeah, I want to come up. Yeah, right across this plain if I can. There you go. Yeah, this game, I played as a younger man. I played. Yeah, it's challenging, but I played a game called Railroad Tycoon when it first came out. I'm a little older, and Railroad Tycoon 2 and 3, and this is just. I mean, it was definitely one of my all-time favorite games, like no doubt about it. And this just scratches every one of those itches that game did. This is just, you know, this is just like, I don't want to say it's my dream game, but it's certainly quite a wonderful game. I am very concerned about the fuel costs to deliver to the customs house. I mean, there's just so many costs, and I have like no. I don't even know that we're going to use this road, but we've got to get some kind of a delivery. You know what? There's a little bit. If you look here, it looks like a little. I don't have to go up over that hill. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I fully expect to fail this. Like, I'm not, you know, I want to be positive because, like, I believe in life that if you have a positive attitude, you're far more likely to get positive outcomes. But at the same time, ouch, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the only thing to say, like, one of the things I'm thinking of is if I can convert this road, if I could build right now high power lines all the way up here, which I know we could probably afford, we could start selling power from that power plant, and I think we would be in good shape. I have to get over this hill. Can I get over? No, see, we're not gonna. I can get up to here. Can I get? Ooh, I can get down to there. I think I can get. Oh, good. I don't even know if this is the best place to build a road, but yeah, you just sometimes go for it. I think. See, I can't even use like the tool to like clear out the trees to see where I'm going. All right, so that's going to be. You know what? Let's go back a little bit again and just... By the way, I'm just building this road to kill a little time, let a few of you guys get in the stream. But my question is, what should we do first? In light of that we have to build everything with the construction depot. No more... The only time I would build something without the construction depot is if... I'm going to bring this kind of out far, so if we ever do put a train there... Yeah, that kind of looks better anyhow. There we go. So we have this road. So what I was saying, probably before you guys got in the stream, there we go, there's Rivergrad. Let's turn off this because it's a little bit ugly though. Sorry if I leave that on in advance. So what I was saying is, you know, we have to get some kind of an export. We can get the power lines. You know, I mean, right now we could just start running a big power line up there and pay for it with rubles, and we could afford that. And then whatever power we sold out of our power plant, you know, we would have money coming in. You know, to me, that's not the hardest start. The other thing is, you know, at this point, I have everything I need. Once we start up time, these people, oops, thank you, start. These people should stay happy, I hope. Last time I tried this last week in a live stream, they all got unhappy and they exodused. Now we can buy more people in, right? Well, here. But at the same time, that just starts sucking up a lot of money. So my debate is, do I go right for trying to build a steel mill, which again would be a problem because then we'd have to get all the way up to Molna. And yeah, people are going to run out of gas trying to just drive up that little country road. I don't know how else we get an export other than to say, well, maybe we go right for having a farming thing, because I know farming can lead to fabric. I mean, even though the chemicals cost you something, you can definitely make some money, you know, off of the corn. You can make alcohol, which you can also make some money from. So we could possibly get a distillery, and we could get a, you know, fabric factory, and we could get a food factory, all from having a farm. So to me, that's a really appealing start. If we take a look at our, you know, that's the food related. So obviously we would, you know, be able to feed our pub and our people with the food, and that would be one less expense to worry about. we're a ways off from beginning any kind of electronics. But also, when you think about it, if we're willing to purchase the chemicals, where would it be? Yeah, distillery. Now let's go back to other industries, or various industries. Yeah, see, if we go with this clothing factory, which takes the crops, I keep saying corn because it's a little picture of corn. All we'd have to buy is some chemicals, which are fairly expensive, but we don't have to buy a ton of them. And we definitely would make money with the fabric and or the clothing, and then we don't have to buy the clothing for people either. So, yeah, so your vote is the farm. Yeah, and well, and by the way, you don't even need a population to sow and harvest if you buy the machinery. You know what I mean? Like if you just buy the machinery, we don't even have to get people up on the farm up there. So we don't even really have to necessarily build a town. Like, and we could actually build, like I couldn't even terraform up to here, right? So I could probably plop like a farm right down here, then start putting some fields up in this area, just not interfere where our steel mill would go. And then the other question is, or do we do the gravel, which is is relatively cheap thing to build as well. I think the steel mill is just, it's a lot, and we don't really have a great way to export the stuff. So I wanted to get, like I said, your guys' opinion. Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't need the farm building. I got you now. I didn't realize that. I just thought that was, I don't know. I guess in my few playthroughs, I just always built the farm itself. Well, how expensive is the farm? 76 steel. Yeah, so it's not overly cheap. And then we'd probably want a silo, which is another good chunk of steel. I mean, I'm not afraid of spending some money. I just want to make sure we do it in the most efficient way. And I'm not hemming and hawing here. I'm kind of giving, a chance for the conversation. But, well, let's see. So I guess the first thing that I really want to do, that we probably could get started, is I would like to get another house, even though these houses aren't filled up, because I put the fire station here. Not that I couldn't knock it down and move it closer, but I don't really want it in the long run to inhibit. I'd rather have houses closer to town than the firehouse. And hopefully we'll need this. So why don't we get our first assignment? And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I bought what I would consider the minimum number of construction things to get construction jobs done. I don't plan on asphalting a whole lot, even though I do have an asphalt plant. Sometimes I did question why I even built the asphalt plant. I might be better off saving the money, but then again, we need it for certain buildings. Like you can't build another gas station if you don't have an asphalt plant. So let's assign these guys to at least do these two roads, because I do have the fire on the... Okay, good. So it sounds like both of you guys that are commenting are saying food. So if there's anyone else out there, you don't have to feel pressured to speak up, but please do now, because I think what I'll do is let's start. I think I would like the farm building, if nothing else, so that we have a place. We'll have to get some trucks. And then the question is, do we try to build everything up there, or do we bring... Like, we have a bus stop here. So, I mean, there's no reason that when it came to, like, our food factory... I mean, the food factory looks like it would go in, like, right here, you know? How expensive is the food factory? Yeah, it'll cost money. Yes, yeah, there is a significant delay on the messages. I have it at normal latency. I could try to put this thing on, like, fast, but then they say that you guys might experience more, like, choppiness and whatnot. And in addition, I anticipate people watching the video in the future, so hopefully we can get in, get it in a, you know, that the delay is not too big a deal. So, but yes, be aware there is a delay. And welcome, John. Thank you for stopping in. We're just deciding on how to really get started. We have it paused. We've been talking a bunch, but we really haven't done much. So I think we kind of decided that we're going to go for food. And I was just asking the question, do I try to... I think I'd be better off trying to build my industries here near our bus stop, so I don't even have to build another bus stop to get more people up there. I just set our construction workers to doing a little bit here. So, all right, so let's we can plop this stuff down without any harm, other than let's get the gravel road going to here too, so that, because I don't like to build this and ended up having it be like 72 different little projects. So let's go back to roads, and we'll get this to be a gravel road as far as we can, and we'll assign them that project. And let's start up time kind of for the first time. All right, there we go. All right, so that's nothing we need to get too excited about. I'll leave that open for a second. There we go. Normal time. Let's open this for a minute, make sure they don't yell that we don't have everything. Let's make sure, am I purchasing? Yeah, purchasing gravel. So that's the biggest thing we need. Are we purchasing? Yeah, purchasing that stuff. And we're purchasing everything but wood, which we don't need. That's another thing. We could buy wood and then just have a lumber mill and save us from buying the boards. You know, we don't actually have to go cut trees. Not that cutting trees is that big a deal. I mean, it wouldn't cost that much. But then, I don't know. In my experience, you don't really make that much for the wood. So, yeah. So I'll try to slow down in my talking so you guys can give an input. Let's go up here and think about where we would lay down. Because I don't think that's roads. I always like the big fields. But where could we lay down? You know, what if I put a field here? They're all like those Wii terminals. To answer your question. Get it a little bit closer. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's all bus station. There are, like, as I would word it, there's no bus stops. Need flat terrain. I thought I just had it. What did I do? Wiggle? Well, that's, you know, some decent fieldage. And it's, I mean, I could even maybe, I don't want to encroach where we might put a steel mill one day, but that's only a farm field. It's not like it would be, I can't get one there. Can I get one? Ooh, look at that. Yeah, as long as we don't get it too close, I could still get to those other fields, right? I think that's about as much as I'm going to get up there. But that's 5 fields. That's not a bad little start to a farm. Now, it'd be hard pressed to get a road any other way but around there. I mean, it'd be nice if you could build the farm up like on that hill there, but not like these guys can't drive out to it. All right, so why don't we... Now, this does hold a fair amount of crops. But so why don't we... Probably have my excavator busy too, don't I? I mean, if I built this, like, say this way, the little thing that would connect to a silo would point this way, and then we could even probably put the silo on the side of the hill there. Can I get this? Oh, you know what? I can get this guy right in there without... Yeah, I know I can get a road past him. Yeah, he kind of tucks in there nice, doesn't he? It's almost like I planned that. Honestly, I didn't. What do you guys think of that? How's our little road crews doing? Are they yellow? Oh, source of workers is empty. Why is the source of workers empty? Are we all... Yeah, we got 2 escapes. At least it's not as bad as the last time. But then again, I guess it's only like 4 days later, but... Alright, so there we go. So we've built these 2 things. We built this. We need to get the firehouse because I really don't want my buildings burning down. I don't want to get them on too many different projects, but yeah, let's assign them to build the firehouse. Yeah, that well planned and or lucky, one of the 2. So, but yeah, I think I don't know if you are aware, John, but where we're at, I should just make sure all of you guys know, is when you spawn into the map, I believe you spawn into the middle. And I think I said it in the preview video, but I actually kind of tried to time it with the clock on my computer, you know, and just see if I like head in that direction, it takes about the same amount of time as if I head in any direction. So we are in about the middle of the map right here. And we have a little bit of coal on the other side of this hill. And we have some iron up here. So I'd like to leave this space open to build a steel mill one day. And yeah, that is very good. I did hear something about that. Yeah, I think they're definitely planning on improving it. I'll tell you what the biggest thing, and you'll hear it in one of my latest videos. I'm always a few days ahead, maybe even up to a week ahead sometimes on the videos. But I would really like it, and this is kind of hidden behind this is usually where I put it. I'm not sure where I should put that chat thing. I guess theirs is as good as any other. I'd really like something that would just show you the construction that's going on. Maybe be able to assign or disassign things. I don't need to see all of this every time. Like even if there was like a shrink it up here thing where we could just cut out this whole, then I could have like 3 or 4 or 5 windows open on the side here. You know, it'd be nice to still have these buttons maybe. I really don't need to demolish the office, but it is real nice when you get a bigger town to be like, this is the way I get between town to town, is I leave these things open and then bam, you know. Yeah, I saw that Trello thing. That's cool. And I'm a lot of games I don't necessarily agree with what they're saying, but it sounds like it's going to get more complicated, which almost scares me. I might not, I guess I might have to give up on my super hard starts, because it sounds like they're going to have all kinds of cool things. They're going to have like riots, and you have to have police, and right now, apparently, the loyalty doesn't do anything. If we look at our people, we should probably take a look at our people instead of just blabbing. But if we look at our people right now, apparently the loyalty does nothing. It's not implemented, but that's going to give you like riots and other issues. Happiness is what drives them to escape. So you need to get your happiness up in order to keep them from escaping. Now you can see mine went down a little bit, but I'm hoping it goes back up as they go through a couple life cycles, so to speak. And it's good that we're having babies. So is our overall population? It's just steady. Yeah, we've had 1 death. We've had no. Why does it say no births? But well, I guess I had 7 babies from the import, so we haven't had any babies yet. But the big thing we want to see right now is this happiness get above 60 there. That way, now see, we've already had 4 escapes because their happiness isn't high enough. Yeah, let's just double check. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason they can't get food, clothes, and alcohol. They're all being purchased, and they're all being purchased in rubles, right? Yeah. So yeah, the happiness should come up. This, I used to get real excited about this, but yeah, I think it's just a matter of giving them enough time and enough people. Sometimes if the stores aren't open because we only have one person working there, and that can kind of be an issue, you know, because only 4 people could get into the shop because only that many people were working there. So we might have to buy some more employees, which is also why I got another building going up kind of ASAP. Yeah, I hope that do you mean modding? I definitely hope that they allow that because, yeah, I don't mind that the game is hard. I don't mind that the terraforming has its limits. Like, you can't come up here and just do whatever you want. Like, I used to work in construction. Do you know how hard it would be to build a ore mine on top of a mountain? I mean, I know it's a game, but you know, I lived in a state of Montana at one point. I mean, all the roads are down in the valleys. You know, this is what roads look like along the river in Montana. Like, there's very few roads go up into the hills. And when they do, it's like a massive construction project. So I like that. But yeah, the inability, like here, it might have been nice. You can't really see the inputs and outputs unless I come here. But it would be nice to have a different layout of this thing where I wasn't limited to, you know, the road coming one way and this coming the other, you know. Speaking of roads, I think we should connect these up with dirt paths. How's that sound for an idea while I'm blabbing away? Oops. Let's make it a little neater. We don't have to be neat freaks, but... So how do you add a conveyor input? I mean, you don't have to tell me all the details, but if there's a... I'd be happy to give that a look, you know? Sorry about that. All right, so I don't want to build this road. Let's see. Let me see something here. I talked about, let's leave some space for future consideration of a grain store. Okay, we definitely won't build that right this minute. Oh, and you know, another thing I want to do is, while I'm in here, I just want to come in here and click on this and check off get residents so I don't accidentally place a building in the future. So there we go. So we have room, and I think I can squeeze this road right on by there. You don't like that? There we go. So now the question is, how do we get up there? Okay, our gravel path is coming along. How is our firehouse doing? We don't have concrete and we don't have asphalt. Because we don't have people because we never set this bus in motion. By we, I mean me. No, wait, what's this bus doing? Oh, no, you're working. Yeah, exactly. We never set this in motion, so. All right, so that's assuming bus platform 2. There we go. So when I saw that bus coming up, I thought it was coming to here. How's that sound for a good excuse? Yeah. All right, so that's a bit of a bummer. But at least we were still working on the road, even though we were probably putting people, we're losing workers because they're sitting in here waiting for stuff. So before I were to attach a road here, let's get our, we want to get up to about here. So straight would be like there, though I think straight is a bit of a dream. All right, so let's, this I would want to have be a gravel road. Yeah, it's a shame for that. Yeah, I need a free excavator, but that guy will be done in a second, won't he? Yeah. Okay, so you when you changed it, did you change it like in the files, or is there some way I can click up here that would, you know, like if I were to go to a like small aggregate storage, there's no way to change it in the game, right? You modified it a bit. Waiting for this excavator to get done in like 10 seconds here. Let's see, we have the, let's do something else. Let's specify people are going to work there and there. And the other thing, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but so this is our bus going to the bus platform, which can carry 40 people, and I really don't want that many coming up here because we just don't, we only need like 5. So what I've done is, if you, oops, sorry, click on the bus stop, especially the load one, and we really don't need students wasting their time there. If you come here, you can do percentage of load. So like 25% of 40 would be 10 people. And I don't even know that we need that many. So let's go to 19%. Let's go to 10%. Now let's go to 10% or 9% would be like 4 people. That might be a little thin. Yeah, let's just say don't get any more than 10 people when you go to that bus stop. And then the whole other bus stop doesn't matter because it's not doing that. But I do want to do this too. Like, yeah, make sure. I like to uncheck that because, I don't know, people go there even though they're never going to get a ride. So probably do it to this one too. Just not that it will be an issue. You haven't bought any games since Resident Evil? Yeah, well, there's so many games I have that, I mean, I could probably, like, if Steam dissolved and no other games were ever produced, to be honest, I probably have enough games to play the rest of my life. It's not like, you know, it's not, oh, now our excavator's over here. I'm going to need to pause when he gets free so we can build this road where I want it to. Yeah, this game is great. I'm really, truly, I mean, I have to, I did, if you guys look at my channel, I mean, I've streamed other games, and then I kind of stopped for a while. I mean, I really have to just stop myself from just playing. Like, at one point, I think I was probably a week and a half ahead on the videos, and people were making great comments and giving me good advice, and I was just, you know. I had to stop myself. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this, right? Like, cause I stopped playing my regular map And I just said, well, wait, can I do an even harder start? And I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I do a live stream and just invite people to see, you know, is there a way we can do the hardest possible start here, you know? Well, I am a programmer, and I will take a look at that. I don't know how you say your name, but XL2S will probably work, right? Um, you know, and maybe I'll even make a video about how to do it, because that would be, I mean, that would be a big plus to the game. I think, you know, being able to change the orientation of this where the output is coming in a different place, even if it looks a little stupid per the graphics. You know, I mean, you're really kind of like, I'm boxed in by where this thing will get gravel from and where this will get gravel from. Now, by the way, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and I've said it in some recent videos that I don't even know if they're out yet, but when it does their pathing, it counts each one of these connections. So if I were to build another road, heck, if I were to build a road around the mountain and back down the valley and over to here, if this bus was coming from here, it would say, oh, look, there's only one connection to get over to here, or 2 or 3, and there's like 12. It will drive all the way around the mountain. So you really have to kind of consider doing things like this when you can, and if you want this to be your main road that everybody goes up and down. Yeah, footpath entries, well, especially on like this power plant, depending on how you have it oriented, doesn't have any footpath entries. I'm not sure if you can add them with what you're doing, but like if we come here to footpaths, like there's no footpath entry to that. So like if you're, and this is definitely this is like the building you want as close to people as possible. I mean, I built this here, built the whole town around the fact that I want a steady flow of people to my power, or else it's like one of the things I don't even want to count on the buses for if you can, you know. The other industries, well, they're not as efficient, but you lose power and everything goes down, right? So we're really counting on getting a good flow of people coming in here. How are we doing on this? Okay, good. At least we have all the stuff there, and we'll have a firehouse, so hopefully nothing burns down. Now, also, now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it, yeah, we're still in January, so this is probably a good time to look. Well, it's not a good time to look because it's hard to tell. And if we do our imports from Western countries, we can get a little idea. Though I've imported like 10 tons of... Where are we? Not Western countries, Eastern countries. Soviet countries. Yeah, food hasn't cost us much. Meat hasn't cost us much. Clothes. Yeah, most of it's these expenses, but we won't really know until February when we're not. I mean, it's counting like all of this construction against us. Hey, G Swedish, welcome. Things are going okay. Don't expect this to be. You didn't miss much. I built a little road up to Molna. We're trying to get a farm going over here. We kind of all voted and thought that getting the food would be best, because then once we have some crops, we could probably branch off into some other industries like getting fabric and clothing and alcohol. And we think it'll be pretty doable with the limited funds that we have. And then probably after that, we'll go for a gravel thing. Like I said, I built this little road. I'm not sure how well we'll be able to export anything, but once we have the gravel, then we'll be able to get that going. You know, the gravel road a little bit cheaper. We have no exports right now, so. And I'm kind of waiting. I mean, this is something I do. I know I can fast forward time, but with the delay at this point and everybody kind of getting in the door, you know, we'll see what happens with... we should be done this pretty quickly here, this ground laying, and then they won't need this anymore. But our construction guys just have the bare minimum. And I kind of forgot to put our bus in action, but... You know, why don't we fast forward a little bit, at least till our excavator gets done. Yeah. But at least our money's not like draining away at some massive rate. But we do need to look at our population and make sure it's going down. Why is our happiness dropping to nothing? Because we don't have enough people. I had to do this before, not relocate. We're going to have to buy more people because we just don't have enough people. Yeah, let's kind of max out these two houses. I hate to have to do this again. Yeah. And then can we... Okay, this guy's going to Revergrad. Oh, you know what? This is part of the problem, too. You know what? We can't... Yeah, unspecified. Because we're not getting enough people to go to the stores and be sellers. So they're not able to go to the store when they have their free time. There we go. Now that'll slow down our construction a bit, but... Yeah. So how many people escaped because of that? See, it just doesn't take much in this game, does it, to kill you? I mean, I just lost how much like $100,000 because I had to buy all those people. You know, well, not 100,000, but I just lost a good chunk of change. 50,000 getting new immigrants in because I had that set to go to this bus stop. Now the problem is, will we get enough people? Which, by the way, the next planned actual construction... Oh, good. Look, this guy got done. So let's build this road while that guy... Well, you know, I'm even going to pause it while that guy's free. And we're going to build a road that just sort of misses those rocks. Yeah, this looks very doable. We're kind of hitting the hill at a bit of an angle, which is good because it's taking it back to the town anyway, right? Go back to here. Now, another thing I like to do, if you guys... I mean, this is like... People talk about the leveling. I'm not sure how experienced you guys are at playing, but... No, that just turned red too fast. A lot of times you can... Like, you can come alongside and... Now, of course, this case, I can't get it. At least not on that side. But a lot of times you can come here and, like, do some leveling. If I can get that yellow. Yeah, it's going to make a liar out of me, isn't it? Well, and before you place the road. That's what it is. It's like, get rid of this for a second. And then if we come along with our gravel road, like, say, here. Like, you can lower, like, see that? I mean, you can, this is, like, the flat building leveling is fine, right? But just make sure you don't build the roads because that's a little annoying when you do. But like we can kind of take down whole mountains, like you know. And this is why, again, is this broken? I mean, I guess it's sort of questionable. But say, no, why won't you? Go that way, but I can't come the other. Oh, you didn't like that. Alright, so let's get up the hill here. Alright, so there we got... Well, let's do this too. I'm going to demolish this. demolish all of that, and we'll build this road right to there. Yeah, good, that'll attach, and I'm sure that one will attach too. So there we go. So now let's do that. Yeah, that's now a gravel road. Very good. So let's commit to that. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat while I was busy there, but all right. So we paused. People are busy. Got the firehouse going. All right. What was the chat? What were you guys saying? Yes, I realized that right now, just spending rubles, I could auto build all the way up to the Soviets, and it would really alleviate 90%, 87% of the challenge that I'm sort of trying to make this as hard as possible. Like, and by the way, the reason is, like, when I first started messing around with this kind of a, you know, can I start in the middle, I actually ran power lines in. Like, I had that connection just kind of like straight across the map sort of thing, and gave myself power. This is one of the reasons I'm starting with a power plant, is because as soon as I did that, I said, well, what do I want to get? I want to get power, especially considering I have a little bit of coal on the other side of this hill here. So you know, with my limited funds, let me build a power plant. I realized, well, as soon as I did that, I had plenty of money. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing that. Then again, it's just self-imposed torture, you could say, you know. Oop, that's the road crane. I want that. Let's see how this is. So that's sort of, again, yeah, you absolutely could start selling power. But so here's the criteria. When I build a gravel road all the way up there, I will parallel it with the power lines. Like, you know, we could get some big power lines going, and then it's really, I don't necessarily intend to play this map forever. It's just sort of see, could you get yourself to that point where you know you can, you know, you may make other mistakes, but you know you could win. I don't even know if I could get this going, so. Yeah, these are just the most efficient, space-saving prefabs. You can get the most people in. You know, the happiness is based, if they have a pub, that makes them very happy, but you need to get them these things here. So let me come here and open up their happiness. See how their happiness is going up? And I'll even, let's go back to this. See, what was happening was I didn't have enough sellers because I had this building assigned to go to this bus stop. So we were getting a couple people going to sell, or here's our store. So people need clothes, electronics, food, meat. They don't need alcohol, and you're better off without giving them, I mean, give them alcohol because that will keep them the happiest, from what I understand, but you're better off giving them a cinema, which will not turn them into alcoholics, which shortens their lifespan. So there's nothing wrong with giving them a pub, but they'll get a shorter lifespan if the more they drink. But again, it's a good way to get their happiness up. So you actually want to see like their alcohol real low and their cinema and culture higher. And then also sports will contribute to that too. Now, the religion contributes negatively if they don't have it. Well, I mean, it's a positive thing, but there's no way to get religion on a map. So you can't, I can't buy a church or anything, so there's no way for me to do anything about this, which is sort of, you know, it's a bit, yeah, why can't you build a church? I mean, I understand it's Soviet and all that kind of stuff, but it's, I don't know, it should be my choice at some point. But whatever, I just ignore it, therefore. Like, it's like a dumb mechanic. Like, you know, you might as well just get rid of the religion thing. But I understand if you're not on a other map, it's just sort of a strange mechanic for the game, in my opinion. And then there's their clothing quality. So, by the way, loyalty at this point isn't fully implemented and doesn't have much to do with their sympathy or their happiness. It more apparently will have to do with whether they riot and stuff in the future, or, you know, they have some ideas as to how they would implement that. So there, as far as I know, there's no real way to necessarily raise their loyalty. I tried to put statues in one map at some point, but you know, yeah, you could use the. Okay, so the radio, TV station. I mean, the TV station will reduce their religious desire. Okay, well, that's good to know. I've completely ignored it because you know, from what I understand, as long as their happiness is as high as possible, when we're good to go. So let's click on this year and see what's happened with our happiness. Yeah, see, so we had the big drop off as soon as all I did was unclick this so that we got more people into those stores. And that was my own fault for setting it, thinking, oh, I got to get people constructing as fast as possible, right? Because the problem is now, look, we have like no people constructing at that point. So let's take a look. Yeah, we had 34 escapees. And it was, look at it, as soon as our happiness went up, we had 87 of those people escape. And it was all when their happiness went up. Yes. Yeah, when you have the pre-populated map. And apparently with the buildings, then you have churches, and then you can, yeah, get some happiness that way. Yeah. Well, I just sort of wish, I don't know, like, why limit us? I mean, I could understand, like, why not? I believe that you should play the game your way. And that's one of the things I really like about this game is I can kind of do what I want, you know, and I feel like, and I understand that you make choices to make the game harder or easier. And I like about this game that people can start, you know, we could have started on the map over there. Like you can start up in that I'll call it the northwest corner or the southeast corner where you're close to Americans and that you can, you know, you could start on easy mode. You know, why not give people if you want to make the game easy for yourself, what do I care? If you want to make it hard like this, great. You know, it's all about having fun, you know? Yeah, John, I definitely, personally, obviously would recommend this game to anyone. Yeah, no doubt. Now, are we getting absolutely no people into the construction, are we? So maybe, how many people? I don't think we need so many. Why don't we split this house up and tell some of them to go there? Now, hopefully that won't run us out of power ever. And by the way, like I do have another house lined up here to be built if we ever... We've got all our resources ready to go. Now we're just not getting any people. And at least we're not losing everybody. Yeah, our happiness is... If you keep your happiness above 70 or so, 60 or 70, you really don't... You don't lose any escapees, which is... If we come over, hover over... What is it? Yeah, see how our escapees like has gone to 0 on the chart there? I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't worry too much about their health and their life expectancy just because once we get a good population having babies, yeah, I mean, the problem that I have, and I don't disagree, like you're saying, build like a dirt road up to, like the whole way. It's probably not a bad idea, except for the fact I don't even have enough people to get my, there we go. I finally got a few people working on the fire station, you know. Should probably fast forward time. Let's do that a little bit. And now that I see that there's some people building the firehouse. How are we doing in the construction factory? Yeah, see, we're only, I mean, what's this, really the first project I have, I haven't even built the one thing. So it's, but yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it's not like a dirt road would cost much, huh? It's just, Yeah, and you know what? You're right, because this could all be... Look at that. That's one big, long stretch of road to build. The only problem is if I try to build both, it'll suck away people to building the roads, even though we don't need them. Let's see. Can we get a little branch dirt road off there? Yeah, there we go. Okay, can I get it? So you're just saying plop this down. We can delete it later on. This is certainly taking advantage of a game mechanic. Okay. Yeah, in my opinion, it's taking advantage of a game mechanic and a little bit of a... You know what, though? I kind of like... You know, I'm not going to leave it here permanent. Here. I won't be able to get over that road until I... Yeah, and then what I could... Okay, that one's already... No, you know what? Let's bulldoze this, because we're not that worried about that right now, are we? And we could do this, and then we could do that, and then I could do this, and then I can do that. Let's see, can we just get rid of that one? Can I do that? No. Come on. Am I trying to be too fuddy-duddy about it? Yes. One more time. No, you don't like that? How about that? There you go. So that's what you're talking about. Okay. So as soon as our firehouse gets done, you're right, because we can set now... Yep, exactly. That's... Yeah, what... For those of you like John who are a little bit new to it, what he's talking about is, see, at this point in this construction, we need this crane. And even before this was done, we needed this flatbed trailer. Well, the foundation works. Like if we come over to, close this and move this over, and we'll come back up to the farm. See, right now the farm's going to need the dump truck. So at least the dump trucks could start getting up there and start getting that, and the cement truck can start getting stuff dropped off there. So by building this little road, what I can do, might as well do it, right? Since I'm just here, let me slow down time because I'm starting to lose track of it. I just want to get this, well, that's the road crane again. I really want to get that firehouse done. And I don't have a ton of people. So the problem is, I wish you could say like, oh, you know what? I can say don't send people, can't I? Let's do that. So we're going to open this up. Sorry, guys. I'm not thinking straight. XL2S is thinking far clearer than I am. So we're going to come here, and I'm going to say decrease the number of people. So at this moment, it won't put any people on that job. And as a matter of fact, I can do that with this. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can. No. I can't turn off the people on the road, can I? Wish I could. All right, well, anyway, so it shouldn't send any people. It should just send the trucks. So let's go ahead and assign this. There we go. So it'll start building that farm building, and it should just send... Here, let's move that out from the chat thing. It should just send the trucks up there. Let's take a look and see. So it's going to say no workers or mechanism, but there you go. See, there goes our dump trucks are starting to take stuff up there. And then when we get done the fire station here, we'll be able to, we'll be able to send people up there. Now, what I was talking about too is if I assign this road, the problem with assigning the road at this point is that it will take people away from building the firehouse, and there's no way that I can cut that off. So, all right, let me catch up with chat here for a second. Hello, Sizdom. Again, sorry about I'm not sure how you want me to say your name, or same thing with XLS2, or would you rather me just say SCNDM? So thank you for all your comments and advice. And Sizdom is my Polish / Slovak or Slavic language expert. So, oh yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I tried to pick a time, which I guess there's probably no good time that would work for everybody in the America and everybody in Europe. So I hope this kind of works, you know. Is it? Yeah, the thing I like about the mobile one is that I don't have to worry about it taking like 3 weeks to get up there, or you know, or be waiting for this guy. But you're probably we'll give that a shot. I mean, I have the mobile crane for now. But yeah, I've never really built a parallel road like that. But I can't say I dislike it. You know, I tend to want to be a bit of a purist about things, but then I also say to myself, well, if you didn't want me to do that, then don't put it in your game, right? Like, you know, but this is obviously really, you know, I've worked on construction sites, and if you look at a road site, a lot of times they do have a temporary road alongside the main road. And what I also like about this is if we ever go to asphalt this, you know, one of the, well, yeah, the only other thing I'm worried about, I don't want them to, I can always just delete a little chunk of it and then they won't use it anymore. And yeah, no, I like it. That's a great idea. It's exactly the kind of thinking that I wanted to get helping me. Polish, yep. Yeah, by the way, guys, there is a bit of a there's a fair delay between the stream when I see your chats and what I'm saying. So I'm doing my best to, it's like talking from the moon or something. I have to sort of wait for the chat to come up and then not get too far ahead of you guys in the or vice versa. My fuel station is just purchasing, and it's right here next to the firehouse. If you ever look at one of my maps, if I build a construction thing, I will almost always build the fuel station right next door to it, or pretty darn close, because these guys are constantly kind of refueling. And in this case, I deliberately built the construction and the fuel right in between my bus stops, right? So I knew that, you know, this was in the middle of where I would have that bus stop back and forth. Just to try to cut down on, yeah, because fuel, they'll get like right to here, turn around and go get back and get fuel. So hopefully one day they'll improve the AI a little bit. I don't think the game has a good sense of, and I do program, and so I understand the idea that in gaming terms, what they're doing is they're counting each one of these nodes where there's a connection to the road as a length of road. So there's no difference in this game between this length of road here and this length of road. So the bus doesn't really have a sense of how far away he is from the gas station. Like, and to try to do that when you've got like the potential for thousands of vehicles and people is really, you would bog down the game if you, like, the difference between this being like 27.2 and this being like 0.3, like, you're asking the computer to do a lot more mathematics as opposed to 1, you know, or 2, or, you know, like using round numbers is another thing, helps the computer go a lot faster. So there you go. So keep that in mind when you build your roads. Like, this will be a very inefficient road, as far as this is a long distance road according to the way the game's calculating the paths. Yes. Yeah, sorry. We are trying to get, I got the farm fields placed and I got dirt roads to each of them. And we are kind of painfully waiting on, oh, there goes our firehouse. Let's buy a fire truck. So the first project was to get the firehouse going, because I can't buy any American ones, right? No, got to buy a Well, I don't want a little van. I feel like we should have a full-size fire truck. Let's go with the full-size fire truck, just because I'm not sure there's anything wrong with the Polish van, but we'll go with the Czechoslovakian fire truck. It just looks more like a full fire truck that has water. Maybe the van had water too, but... All right, there we go. Now, the problem we're going to have is we don't have any people. So one of my next projects needs to be to get some people close enough. So now that the firehouse is done, I took all the people, by the way, and took them off of this. So let's say that you can have 10 workers here. But not to overload our construction office, I do want to assign this house. Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. Yeah, see, I got like 10 million nodes at that point, don't I? On this one road. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, saying like, if you want them to go the wrong way, or the right way, you need to control the number of nodes. So I'm not going to worry about it too much in Revergrad here, but as we build other cities, you'll see I'm going to tend to try to do things like this, where we'll have the main road, and then if I have like 4 or 5 buildings, you know, this would be like 4 buildings attached, I'll attach off of a side road. So I really didn't even like building this guy that much, because he created another node, and I would have been better off building a bit of a side road right there, especially considering we might have well, the gravel plant will go up here, but I just needed to get a house close enough to this guy is the bottom line. So, and that'll be plenty close for them to walk from there to there. But yeah, so yeah, control your nodes. Yeah, system. I'm not sure what to say about that. It's different than what I was taught. What I will say is that the math of adding like not complicating it with the distance between the 2 nodes, because you would still have to add these 2 nodes and then calculate the distance between them, right? Whereas opposed to just adding the nodes. Right, like, so in other words, you would still have to recognize that there's a node either way, and then you would have to add the math, whether it's easier with integers or not, you would still have to add the math in addition to adding that there is a node, right? Like, if that makes sense. So I think it's probably a little bit quicker just to count the nodes, in other words, like, and that's probably why they're doing it, I would bet, is that it's just, you know, whatever reason they did it, I know it doesn't count these nodes, or it doesn't count the distance in between them, which is a bit annoying for the game, you know. Yeah, by the way, that is something we need to put up here, isn't it? XLS2 just mentioned, if we don't have a fuel thing up here, it'll be like the tractors are going to have to drive like 2 miles per hour, whatever they drive, 15 kilometers an hour, like the whole way. I don't want to put it there because I have to find a nice place. Oh, come on, let me. Oh, look at that. That's like it was made for that spot. See, it's like super planning, right? So you're saying, though, but you're talking about actually adding into the farm itself a fuel depot functionality, which really, my first job was on a pig farm, and yeah, we had a fuel delivery truck. Like most of our vehicles were, but we had gas and diesel both dropped off to our farm. I mean, it was worth. I mean, you're not going to take these tractors to town every time. You're not going to get 5-gallon buckets to fill up, a 100-gallon tractor tank. System, if you're talking about XL2S, he has gone into the files and been able to add and or modify the locations of the connections. So for example, if we were to look at the conveyor connection here, he's saying that he's been able to add a conveyor connection like on this side or change it. I don't know if he's been able to do that graphically, but like, kind of who cares, right? Like, I don't care necessarily if the graphics look a little stupid with the conveyor coming in from this side as opposed to this side. So then what he's talking about is he's tried to add the functionality of the gas station to the farm. So in other words, take this functionality in the game files and add it to the farm tiles would be really cool, in my opinion. and not unrealistic is what I was also getting at. Yeah, people talked about shipping, and yes, that would be definitely another cool thing to add. It sounds like they're going a little bit more in the direction of, getting more functionality with the people to get started. But I don't think they ruled out if I'm remembering right from the comments I read, I always pay attention to the developers. Yeah, by the way, guys, I'm going to take a look at what XL2S is talking about and probably even make a video on it, because I think that's not my biggest frustration. But I mean, there's a lot of things you need to learn to play the game well, but one of my bigger frustrations was, well, wait a minute, I'd really like a connection, like a left-handed version. If this is the right-handed version, make another version. Sorry about that, guys. I have a rule with friends and family that, I don't always answer the cell phone. Heck, I might be streaming or something, right? Not that that's a big thing in my life, but, well, a friend just called like 3 times. It's like, well, my rule's always been if you call back, if I don't answer, and then eventually I'll get it, even if I'm, because if you're broken down on the side of the road, I don't want you dying from me, ignoring your phone call, Anyway, he just wanted to talk, but I told him, go away, in a very nice way. Ah. Yeah, I will. I will definitely make a video, XL2S. That is not something I've even. Well, I can't say I haven't thought about it, but I hadn't given it much effort, and I'm glad you have. All right, so we don't have many people working up here, but XL2S gave the suggestion that we build this dirt road. It might have been before you came in. This is dumb. And how is our house going? We have workers. We're waiting on some asphalt. Why are we not? Are we making progress? Yes, finally, a little bit. Right? Yes. Sometimes you get used to fast mode, and then when you see the numbers going up in the non-fast mode, you get excited. Or you get like, oh my gosh, what's taking so long? There we go. Good, happy days are here again. Let's take a look at this year. Our happiness is above 80 on the chart. So how many people have escaped us? None have escaped in quite a while. We have had 20 births, even though we haven't had too many very recently, which is great. We have our school to educate them, at least minorly. I see our power is the vibrating power. I'm not sure why our power would be vibrating so much right now. I mean, it's hardly a complicated hookup that we have going on. Oh, that is another thing we're going to need, isn't it? I don't know. Do we even need really? Well, when you're going to need power to that gas station. Okay. Well, let's plan on that, huh? So, where do we want to put this? I guess it can go anywhere up here, though. If I were to ever put population, it would tend to be over this way. So why don't we cheat a power thing over in that general direction. We'll put it close enough that it... Yeah, I don't see myself putting any buildings over that way anytime soon. So if I were to put a power thing... This is another thing that it would be nice if you could connect to this thing in more different directions. Now, you know what? If I put it right there, would I block the road around? Yeah, I definitely needed to get to that gas station. And if I put it up here, it would hit the gas station, right? Be a little tiny bit more money, but I think it would be in a much better place. All right, there it goes. I think you just made them very happy. I mean, again, if you have it, how should I say your name? I don't want to offend you in any way. Let me get a dirt road going around here. I'm going to get the dirt road going like this. There we go, and then we can do... No, let's go a little further. There we go. So now we'll be able to get to that. I often like these big ones, but I don't even know that we need them. SM. So is that S and M? Okay. S and M. Okay, I can live with that. That sounds, not that I need to live with it. It's your name or your thing, so I have no problem with that. Yeah, I think I'm. Well, I don't want to interfere with future conveyors, but let me come back to here, say, and then can I get past there without interfering? That's what we need to do now. Now, this is one of the things that I will tend to do with dollars or rubles. Just because, like, well, do I run? No, I don't want to run back to there, do I? Because I don't really feel like building a road all the way up here and then waiting for this power and all that. So I hope you guys forgive this. And it's really, I will build the rest of it if I, well, see, here's another problem. If we don't build the road up to here, wherever we split into this, and then the question is, should I just build it all the way back to here? I really should probably build a... I changed my mind. Let's X this out. I think I should get my high power lines over there. Nice. I wish I could look at what you guys are talking about, but I'm in the middle of a live stream. Trust me, yeah, 5 minutes, well, let's say within 15 minutes of this live stream ending, I will definitely be taking a look at that myself. That'll be cool. All right, so I don't want to interfere with... Like, I don't want to build it right across here because that's... I definitely want to put a gravel processing down here, and then I don't want to interfere or have to tear it apart for there. Can I get by along the river? Yes. Though I am kind of getting into where I might have houses, and this might be... Or do I go up over the... Nah, you know what? I'm going to go up and around. I don't know what you guys think. The deal with integers. From what I understand... An integer math is more easy for a computer because it's just basically like a bunch of ones or zeros, and it's, you know, like 2 ones is a 2, and you can cause your program to just work in integers, and it's quicker than having to do division. Like, a computer actually can't do division. It has to go through a pretty complicated thing, and when you have floats or doubles, you're actually causing it to do more work because in a sense you're asking it to do, in a sense, divisional math, you know. But anyway, the reason that I even brought it up, and I don't mean to get into some programming debate again, because you could absolutely be right, integers are real. What I'm saying is not adding up this distance between these two nodes is easier than trying to add up the distance between the two nodes. Like, in other words, just adding 1 plus 2 plus 3, or 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, is easier than trying to add up, you know, okay, I have a node, what's the distance between the nodes? You know, so it would have to do a calculation to know how far that distance is. Now, it doesn't have to calculate that all the time, but it would have to store that into memory, right? Like, I now have to know that I would have to call this in memory, the distance, you know, between 1 and 2. right? Let's call this node 1, this node 2. So I'd have to know, and this is node 0. So I'd have to say, okay, the distance between node 0 and 1 is 1. The distance between this node and that node is 5. Well, I now have to store that in memory, and every time I go to compute this bus's route, instead of just adding up that there is 3 nodes there, I would have to go and say, well, go into memory and pull up 5 as the distance, and then add that to this 1, and then I got to add, now I have 6. So should I go this way, which is 6, or should I go another way, which would have some other distance count? And it's just, when you start doing that thousands of times, and again, it's not just a matter of, like, the bus doesn't know which way to go, so it has to kind of compute, like, all of the different possible paths and then figure out which one's the shortest. And that definitely gets the computer to working a lot harder than if you just counted the nodes. Hope that makes sense. Yes, very good point, XL2S. Very good point. So what he's saying is that if we're only hooking up to one of them, one of these 2 big power lines, we're only using 50%. So you can, you know, yep. And that's, yeah, that is something that could cause you a problem. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. I think I'm going to go up over this hill a little bit, like around here, and just stay away from where I would put my quarry. What do you guys think of this? We don't have to commit to it till I get your opinion. And then that way I'm also, if we ever build a train track, I mean, we're going to be, hopefully, I don't know how far we'll get on this map, but if things go well enough, I'd definitely like to come back and do this again next week. I mean, I know this is a little bit of a goofy way to go, but like, I'm just picturing down the road, if we ever wanted to put a train track past here, I didn't want my power lines right there, and I don't really know exactly where I'd put my quarry, so why not just kind of come up and around with power? It shouldn't be a problem for building it, because we'll build it from the power plant, right? And then I can come, like, say over to here, where I don't think I'll interfere with stuff, like maybe right here. Let's go as far as I can with one thing. And then we'd put in a high voltage switch. Well, because I would plan on having a town here. I guess I should put it, maybe I'll put it like here, right? Would that work? Yeah, that would kind of work. No, I don't want to. Can I get it green? Yeah, I will definitely look into that system. Yeah, it's just different than I was told. Like, not that I was told right, obviously. Not at all being argumentative about that. All right, so where are we using the excavator? I thought I had a free excavator. I'm not too far away, am I? Now, where are you going now? Oh, you're going over to here. No, you're going to get fuel, aren't you? Another thing that would be nice if they told you what they were doing a little more often. Like, you can go over to the people and the, well, wherever the people are. Let's go to a house. How are our people? Oh, we're getting some growth, aren't we? That's nice. Yeah, we definitely want to get this house done. Is there a reason we're not building the house? No. Yeah, it does seem counterintuitive. I'll look into it, like I said, with those numbers. But you get what I'm saying about, again, the point wasn't necessarily that integers are better or worse than floats. It's the point is, whether it's an integer or a float, needing to know the distance between these 2 points is more complicated for the path finding. Right? Just counting the nodes is going to be easier, whether it's, you know, node 1, 2, 3 as a float, or, you know, it's having to add the distances and calculate all the distances as you're going through will slow down the pathfinding algorithms. So, what was I doing? We were doing that. I completely lost track of what I was doing. I was building power. And I was waiting for this excavator to get done fueling. So I'm even going to pause because I don't think he's going to go do anything else real soon, but I really want to put this power in without him deciding to go do more stuff. So I want to put a high voltage switch in because, again, I would plan on having a town here eventually. And even though this will be a little bit goofy, let's put it. Yeah, this would. Oops. Can't build due to infrastructure. Hopefully we won't end up tear. I do tend to tear up power lines. Alright, so there we go. So we have. Let's see, does anybody. Nobody seems to have a huge opinion on the power lines going up that way. You know, again, trying to keep. If I ever did put a train line through here, I think that jamming power lines, just no matter where I seem to put them, I could think of some possible future expansion that I would tend to interfere with. Not that I could get a train through here, but I could see myself getting rid of this thing and then maybe being able to squeak a train line or two through there, you know. But if these power lines, that'll just be one more thing. All right, so now what we're going to need would be a power transformer, right? There we go, and that's even attached to a road. There we go. And we need to switch over to, I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't just put a bigger one. I'm actually going to go from this one in case I want to run some other power from there. So what do you guys think of that? Not the most impressive thing in some ways, but yeah, redoing later on is something with the game, isn't it? Good. Thanks for the input. So we will, oops, I closed it for some reason. Let's commit to it, so to speak. And we'll come back here and commit to that. I also wish that, I understand the little white dots, but I do wish that they gave you a little bit more of a, I don't know, ghost image or some kind of indication of where your power lines were. So the good news is I think all this is hooked up to road, so we could start, see, where are we at with this guy? We're still delivering steel up here. Oh, we got to pause. Let's stop pausing. Oh, did we get our power hooked back up? I like not. Oh, we didn't have to because I didn't go and disconnect it. Well, that was smart of me. All right, how is our house doing? Prefab panels. Is there a reason we're missing prefab panels? Because we're just too busy with our one truck, huh? Yes. Yeah, I'm sure they have some kind of, like you said, yeah, some kind of nodes in between. Yeah, like this would have to have some nodes, and I think you can kind of tell that. You're right. Like when you go, I'm not going to actually build this road, but when I go to build this road, you can kind of see it at times, like clips in, you know, like to the, like those are nodes. Like each time it goes like boom, 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 like almost like a machine gun, you know. Yeah, so I think you're right there. There's, and then I'm wondering, and I don't know, is it counting? I don't think it's counting all those individual nodes though, because I've had really goofy situations with the pathfinding. Like, say I wanted a bus to go from here to here, but I had a road, you know, that went up to here, but then like just cut around the mountain and just was like a clean road, so to speak. It didn't have many connections at all. And this bus would drive all the way up and around the mountain and then come into this bus stop this way. So, yeah, thank you, X2LS. That was, I think you were reading my mind there, weren't you? And saying, don't be such a tightwad. All right, open haul. I'm going to go with my favorite truck. I don't know if you guys have a favorite truck, but it's my favorite truck because it hauls the most at this point in the game. At some point in the 70s, you get a nice red one that hauls 16 tons of stuff. So yeah, we will give them another truck. Is there something else? I mean, we got 2 dumpers. None of these, I don't think any of these projects are huge on concrete, are they? No. I mean, if this had any concrete, it's done. And this doesn't have, these don't have much concrete even in the beginning. And yeah, well, we already have this crane, so I don't know that I would buy another crane. And I don't plan on paving anything. I mean, you could definitely argue for another bus. I like to have 2 buses often. Yeah. Hey, thank you for keeping me straight, guys. Yeah, look at that. We're already making slightly more progress. There we go. Look at that. It's like a whole new thing. But yeah, we want to get... How are our people doing in our houses here? Especially in the beginning. We're losing some people. Like our numbers are going down. So let's take a look and just make sure there's not... this month, and about last month. I always like this year too. So 43 bursts. We had... Well, yeah, we had people escape in the beginning. Now our population's going up. Where are they? Oh, you know what it is old people are dying still, right? Yeah, see, we've had some old people dying, or whatever people dying. And we've had bursts, but I don't think we've really had a chance to get these people going. Now, are we getting people into the school to teach? Not really. We got 4 people. Yeah, we need more houses. Well, we need more of everything, but how is our farm doing? Yeah, we need more people. Bottom line. Is the school working fine? Well, not really. Well, there's 3 staff. So, I mean, our kindergarten's working fine. I think we've only got 32 kids to begin with. $18 in this house. Yeah, so I think we can specify that, right? I don't think that'll hurt. Can't say I've done that a whole lot, but... Yeah, see, babies don't go, so... It would be nice if you could... Like, we can't specify where the educated people go, right? Like, So I have, if you've watched my playthroughs, like I would set this house to work just at the school, and then any educated people I ever, and I might do that one day, you know, any educated people we got, I would tell them, anybody working in this house should go to work in the school. Now, I'm assuming that the educated people are, like, look, we got 4 staff, right? So, yes. Yeah. That's it. But that's something to point out. XL2S is saying that don't get too excited about your uneducated, because the majority of those uneducated, in my case, I have, how many is this? Like 78, right? 78 people of the population are kids and babies. 45 of them are even babies. They're going to be counted in the uneducated. So right off the bat, you could take 45 off of this number, and then realistically, you could take 33 off of this number. So in other words, we don't have any uneducated workers, if that makes sense. Yes, I am working on this house as we speak, and I am hoping that my building this path, here we can build, I might need to destroy that path, which really annoys me about the game, that you can, this way, like you end up building a footpath behind there, and then look, see, now I can't get these people in because that footpath is there. See that? So I need to destroy that footpath in order to get these houses in. Yeah, and let's make sure, just so you guys know, I'm sure some of you do, like, see how this is this on the same, like, you may not like the angle of that. If you spin this all the way around, it'll become at a different angle that may be slightly better or worse depending on your, like, in other words, it's now actually on the same, like, it's the same as this one where it wasn't. Like, let me spin it all the way around again. Like, when I click, I can't, I made a liar out of me, didn't it? This might be better. But when you spin these things around, you can get them at a slightly different angle. So yeah, I need to bulldoze this path. Let me pause to do it, just because it's going to upset them a bit. And then I'll need to, and this is the kind of thing, you know, that annoys me enough. Sometimes I just pay for it with dollars because I feel like it's a bit of a game issue more than. Now this path, on the other hand, if I can't fit it in, it's just my fault for putting the path in the wrong place, but I can fit it in. There we go. So now let's just make sure before I commit to these that we can get a road in there. Yep. Yep, good. All right, there we go. So now we got to get our footpath back. And like I said, I think even though it'll cost me a little bit of extra money, because it's sort of a, I don't want to call it a game glitch, but, you know, I feel like that's not too cheaty to get those little footpaths back in like that. There we go. That's a good idea, Mikhail. How is our construction spot doing? Well, they're still plugging away on their 2 little projects, aren't they? Yeah, so you're talking about, are you calling the back of the cinema here? Or over here? Or both? Let's see. Like that. get one in? Can't really get one. Oh, I can get one there. Come on. Is that too close to this? Yeah, it'll attach. Yeah, they definitely like their footpaths, don't they? So there we go. We kind of have it covered now. Now these I won't just auto buy these. But you know what? I think even if you're gonna build these paths and stuff, here's skill here, right? Can we just do this without demolishing or? Yes, look at that. So this will just make this like 2 projects as opposed to many little projects. But yeah, this house here will appreciate that footpath. And I always like to have it like this little setup where if I were to build houses over here, I'd put a footpath behind them. I like to jam them in tight here, so a lot of times I can't get a footpath like to attach, you know? So they kind of have to use the roads when you jam your houses in that tight. This guy could have one. Probably even do one from like here, I bet you. Yeah, when you look on the people, I wonder, like, if you take a look, and this gets into the nodes thing again. Like if we come here, look how many dots they get on the footpath versus they get fewer dots on the roads. And I think that's an indication of how far they can go. So like in other words, you could see, you know, if he wanted to go to that other house, he's got to take, and I think when you get a lot of dots, it means they're going to walk faster or better. I'm not sure about that, but it's clear that there's some difference that these little blue dots are showing us. Yes, I've had them get over 300 meters to go to places if they've got good footpaths like the whole way. So when people complain about the distance that these guys can walk, like almost no doubt, you know, that you can get them to go a lot further on the footpaths. So, and I'm not sure if a little thing like this makes much difference, but, and I've had it too where like they're not getting to the, like if we didn't have this path in here, they would struggle in a sense to get to this sports complex. So setting up the spaghetti of footpaths, I think really helps you a lot, you know? All right, so we're all working on other things. I think we could squeeze these footpaths into construction. I kind of hate to take away the workers from those. Ah, look at that. We got 2 different jobs there. Where it had those things attached. You know what? Let's just redo that. It's not like we're doing that much else, right? We don't delete things we don't want to delete. There we go. By the way, guys, every time I use that delete tool, I always just, now I'm just in the absolute habit of hitting escape as opposed to clicking on anything else. So we kind of came from here, right? There we go. Yeah, let's just commit to that without doing it. See, now we have 2 jobs versus 4, which it just slows everything down if you have too many of these jobs. There we go. So we'll get those footpaths done for future consideration. They shouldn't be too hard. People should just walk there to work on them. And that'll give our construction gravel truck something to do. How are we doing? %. Doesn't look like anybody's working. Another thing if I had a wish list was, it'd be cool if you could like double click on this and just go to that construction site. Boom. You know? There we go. We dropped off a few more people. How are we doing? Our money's going down. Let's take a look at money. Mikhail, what is your comment about gravel? I'm not 100% sure I understand. You know, something else we could do, speaking of gravel, you know, we're working on this diligently, but there's no reason we can't start planting gravel. I'm not sure if that's what Mikhail was getting at, but let's start. Do we have a? Yeah, the excavator's free, so he should be free for a little while. So let's come up here and squeeze in a gravel quarry. Now what I want to do is try to, we'll get the wireframe going a little bit. I want to try to get this started like down low and even like, not low, but over here. So can we find a place? See, if I get this here, we can cut our way hopefully right on into a nice quarry with lots of green, and then we don't end up, if you try to like plop it right on top, you end up several, I guess it seems like each block is 10 meters, but if you use the scale that the wireframe is, you know, you have a pretty significant height there. Like that's, you know, what, 20, 30 meters, not 30 meters, but 20 meters up there. You know, it's kind of a big difference when you talk about getting a road going. So I just want to push this in until we have a nice little flat area, plus get as many of those things green as I can. And then what I was thinking is, I don't think we'd necessarily get 3 quarries up here in this little patch of stone, but I don't know that we really, you know, 1 quarry with 2 dump trucks is going to be a good amount of gravel for us in the near future. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I'm looking. I have a second computer that I use just for, it's like my older computer. And you're absolutely right. My messages stopped reaching me. I've been looking on my monitor. If you look, I can actually see the messages in the live stream, but I can't see them, and I'm sure you guys can't either. If you look on the screen, which is where I've been looking, I can't see your messages. So sorry about that. Let me, while I'm sitting here with my finger leveling. Increased paths equal massive increase in nodes. I use them a lot, but now yes. Yeah, okay, that's definitely something to consider. I haven't really noticed that, but it doesn't, yeah, exactly. I know, deconstruct tools are far safer, aren't they? All right. One other thing I like to do with the leveling, sometimes you can spin this guy around. Notice I kind of deliberately pointed the road in when I went to do this leveling. And I think this is, I mean, I'm not sure we're going to get, you know, a whole lot better quarry, or that we need to. So let's just plop the quarry right there. And you can see I cut my way in pretty good into this hill, and then I would plan on, if we ever need another one, put it like up here. Yeah, I wonder what, if there's something, let me try something on my thing. I don't know why, or hold on one second. Yeah, guys, I don't know. You can see I typed into chat through the game thing, but I'm certainly not getting all of your messages that I can see on the actual YouTube thing. So, which is a bit of a bummer, not so much because I can't look off to my left, but in the future. Hey, look, they're coming in but they're like really slow for some reason. See, there you go. Infinite gravel. Hey, Apox, welcome back. Yeah, I was a little bit earlier this week. I'm sorry. I decided to go a bit earlier. Apox was my one solid viewer last week, and him and I had a great conversation. If you watched the stream, it was him talking to me most of the time, and I started at 7, so I think I decided that I wanted to go a little earlier because I realized, a fair number of the people watching are from Europe, and if I did this at like 7 or 8 Eastern, I didn't want to cut out, to stream at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, which is getting to be that time there anyway. So I wanted to start out early if I could to, get as many people available as possible. So welcome. All right, so let me read over here so make sure I don't miss your... Sorry, guys. I'm just reading through all the chats that I kind of think I've been missing, so apologize for all that. Yes, the farm, after we're done with well, I'm doing it now, I think. I think when we're done with the farm, well, I don't know. We're laying out the gravel because I just know that that's something we'll want. We don't have to spend money on it, but I guess that would be the kind of question I'd have for you guys is once we have the crops, then I think it's pretty reasonable to go to, do we do fabric and clothing as maybe our first thing that's really worth maybe driving up there to export? Now, John, there's unlimited resources, so I mean, there's a limit to how much you can get out per minute, and it's usually limited a lot of times by the number of people that you have in your factory, but it's not, they are endless once you're attached to them, which I think XL2S already said. Yep, good. I'm glad you guys saw that. If you look, now see how it seems to be better again? Like if you look at what's actually showing on the chat in the stream, like you can now see, it's just easier for me to look at the one that's on the screen as opposed to looking to the other computer. Again, it's not that hard to look at the other computer, just, it's just a different screen, but. Yeah, and the boards are cheap. And replanting the trees is a pain in the butt. Cheers. And I hope... Yeah. The boards just aren't that expensive, and it's not an industry that you make much money on. It's certainly something... Like if you've watched my regular series, it's like probably It'll just be done because I have Lumbrisco planned, and I want to say that I'm completely self-sufficient. And if you didn't make your own board, you wouldn't be, right? So anyway, I did distract myself, didn't I? So here we have a gravel quarry, and I think we can spin a road right down this way. And so let's look about where we would put our gravel processing. So we would spin this guy around so that he could eventually get conveyored over to these guys. And if you notice, I laid all these guys out here, the gravel type things, so that we could put this guy, say, like in this neighborhood, maybe a little bit further back, so that I can get a quarry, you know, I want to go from this, it's a little hard to point with the building, but I want to go from this quarry, or aggregate storage, like, hopefully I can get a conveyor kind of straight there, you know. The other ones I might have to put in like a mechanical transfer thing. So let's see, I think that there's at least, maybe we tilt it a little bit this way, and I think we're talking about getting it in on this ballpark. So can we come down here and lower a bit, at least enough that I can start doing a bit of leveling? And then we would have to raise up like somewhere over here a bit. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Now, is that a good height that we want to be at? Let me just lower like here a bit, just so that I don't think that'll affect my... Lower here just a little bit more too. See, so this will start leveling wherever you're pointing at that height. So how's that look? Yeah, the chat seems to have caught up with itself, so that's good. I have never used a private car. I think it would be interesting, though, if you had a mode, and I've had the same exact question, John, about the car. Like, but it would be cool if you, I don't know if it'd be cool. It just might be a pain in the butt, but it might be interesting if you had to, like, get in the car and drive places in order to see them. I don't know if I'd want to actually do that. It sounds a bit torturous, but, you know. So in other words, what you're saying is, like, you could just have cars go into like the concrete place or the asphalt plant. Maybe you had an asphalt plant that was kind of far away from the rest of your town or something, but you only need like 5 people working there. Yeah, I should try the cars at some point. No doubt. All right, guys, I'm pushing into the side of the hill so that I can get enough room for a road at the end here. Might even tilt this guy a little bit that way. So this is the kind of thing where I would really like this is where I would modify it like XL2S is saying, like, where you could have that road, instead of coming out the way it is, you know, have it come out at a different angle, right? Like where it would come out straight out the back to the right. Let me just level this enough that we can get a road in there, kind of. You can always level more. Now I want to go this way a bit, just so that we can get these conveyors in the future. Because that seems like a bit of an extreme hill to get those conveyors past. Though I've often noticed that you're better off. One of the nice things about this little setup that I have is you're better off with the conveyors coming from high and then going down into some place, it seems. I mean, not maybe always, but if you're down lower with this gravel thing, it seems like the conveyors sometimes have a harder time connecting. But when you have a little bit of this height difference, you can kind of like drop them right in. They don't tend to obstruct on as many things. All right, that's probably enough. I don't mind. We can modify the train further in the future if we need to, but at least we don't have it. So what I'm going to do is, let's push this guy back a little bit more right here. Make sure I can get this road in. Just a little more, because I love the level. All right, so let's just see. If I put this guy right here, let's just plop him and just see if... over here. Let's just see if I can't get... select the conveyor. Can I get a conveyor? There we go. Perfect. Now, even better, though I don't think it'll work. He'll cause an obstruction, but I don't think that's going to attach anyway, so, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that's going to be too much of an angle. Like if we try to... Yeah, if we try to go from there, it's going to say too much of an angle. But that's okay. We can put a... There's no reason... We're not going to be using that much concrete or asphalt, even when we get this going, that we can't just drive a truck back and forth. The only annoyance is that, you take up a spot, and that's kind of a bigger issue with this because it only has one slot, which is... So you can't just leave the truck sitting there. We have a bus station right here. So we already have, if that's what you mean, with the asphalt plant. So it's kind of already should be functioning. Same thing. That's how we are getting asphalt and concrete out of them when we're doing construction for these other things. Speaking of which, I'm not paying much attention here. But there you go. So we're still busy building. Takes a while to build those things, but I'm pretty happy with where we're at 2 hours into it. I mean, I know this is not going to be the most exciting, fast-paced thing to watch, but it's hey, we're making progress given that we started with so little money. So now what I would like to do is see about getting the road from here down. Lower it if anything. Let's take this and do one of these numbers. Can I get that to... No. Can I go like this? Roads are the most powerful leveling tool in the game. Other than, you can't quite always pick, like here, it's a little bit hard to pick exactly where we want, but they're definitely very powerful. So let's see. Can we get that guy? No, not quite, but I think we can. No, it's not going to like that. Can I go far enough? No. It didn't like that turn. It's too much of a turn. Like that? You won't? Come on, give me a yellow. Can I get a yellow? No yellow. Yes. As a matter of fact... Oh, I say gravel processing. Yeah, we'll have to get a bus stop up here. We'll also probably want to get a gas station up here as well. Either that or we could put a couple more houses. We don't need to worry about people really up here. I mean, it's because the excavator will do enough of the work. Maybe I get another house up this way. We can... This is here's another wish for the game. And this one I don't think would be that. I wish they had a measuring tool of some sort for more situations. Like, but if we look... Yeah, see, if we put... Like, right now, you would almost get people there. Though I don't think with the current paths we would really be able to do it. But I think if we got some houses up in this area... They're going to be well under 200. So I think maybe we get another road going around here, and then we'll get a house or two for the gravel at least up that way. All right, so now let's go back to roads. This game you can really truly easily get distracted, can't you? Let's see, can we... Sometimes you can go long enough, but this is just too much of an incline right there. So let's just do a little manual. Smooth sometimes actually helps it. It's just not liking it. Can I go up? Yeah, there we go. That'll help a little bit. Go up again. You don't like that so much. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. That'll help. No, that won't help as much as I thought. Can I get it? You can fake the game out, can't you, sometimes? You know, that's... You know, that might not actually be that bad. You know why? Because if we did build another quarry... See, I planned that. That's what it was. I planned on that because then in the future we could get another quarry up here and I could bring the road right down there. Yeah. Strategy. No, you don't want to attach that close. Okay, how about now? There you go. So let's just bulldoze that guy. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that little connection. And then now what we need to do... There's a footpath entrance near the conveyor output on the processing plant. Yes, let's see. Well, let me finish this road real quick. Just so we got that. I don't think we really need... There we go. Right? Now, let's see about footpath near the... Oh, yeah. Problem is, how far away is it from that bus stop? I mean, is it even a shot? There's the footpath there. Yeah, that might work. Without even having to do too much of anything. I'm just low on people. We got 74 babies, so we got, you know, we got a nice growing population this year. Yeah, see that? We're up to, we've had deaths and some escapes, but I think all the escapes, yeah, all the escapes were like that little blip of my mistake. And just so you guys know, my mistake was probably the biggest, I mean, everything could be a mistake, but is I had specified these citizens to go to this bus stop, and they weren't going to work in these stores and the cinema and the soccer field, so everybody got unhappy and everybody started to escaping just because of that one setting that I did wrong. is the... Yeah, you know what? I never really thought about the dirt footpath because the other ones are so generally cheap that it wasn't... Okay, walking... Well, yeah, I think I'd rather have the walking speed. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. I probably should put... Can I go from like here to here? Yeah. And then we could probably do... Yeah, like that. And then... Oh, I got to get past that conveyor. Here, let's not build that one until I... Yeah, this is... I wish we could get a little bit better image of... Okay, we can get through... I think that's through... Yeah, let's see. Can I do... There you go. That's a little better. That's a lot better. Let's go. Right there. No, you don't like that? What's going on? Why don't you like that? Is it because the conveyor? You... Really? So it doesn't like that at all because that conveyor... That's another thing about like the placement of some of these things. There's some of the buildings that, you know, like... I guess it's my fault for bringing the conveyor at such an angle, but still, like if you had just put this down a few feet, it wouldn't render this thing completely useless. You know, and for them to have to walk up to there, that might be the difference. And then if I put it across here, it's going to get in the way of any other connection, but it's only a footpath, but still, like... I mean, it, you know, no way I'm getting that out of there. Nope. Yeah, that's a bummer. Well, I guess the thing to do, let's carefully... Let's spin around so I don't accidentally delete my conveyor. Escape. So I guess we could try to do it... You're being you're just being difficult tonight, aren't you? Building in the way. What building would be in the way right there? Itself, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure how well this will go, but I don't really like that. This is the anal retentive part of me here, right? There we go. Sorry, it looks a little better anyway. All right, so there's some footpaths. That's a good point. And it's not like you couldn't come by and replace... Yeah, it's not like you couldn't come by and replace them. Yeah, I do like that about the dirt roads, too. Like, you can kind of run the dirt road, sort of make sure it all works, and then it's... Once you know it's working, then you're good to go. And you can always, yeah, come by and just instantly replace them with gravel if you really wanted. All right, so these guys are... What are we doing here? We got a lot of trucks parked up. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Well, you're not kidding me, I know, but... So we didn't have everything we needed. I'd like to get this bigger one again, just because it's not that much more money. So our construction has ground to a halt. Not so much this one, but the other one, because we didn't have... Up here, we need mechanical components. That's all right. That's part of getting started on a map, right? But at least now we have a truck heading that way. The only shame of it is we were probably sending workers up there that... So how is our population doing? Keep checking on that because it's critical at the beginning here. Alright, so since... Yeah, we're just plugging away at that ever so slowly with the few workers we have. So let's get these guys doing a little bit more. How's that sound? Unfinished footpath. You're still working on that one, huh? That means we could probably, even though we'll forget about it, possibly, let's get like this guy attached. Yeah, so they're definitely adding a lot more nodes there, isn't it? And it's certainly, that's certainly something to consider for future. All right, so we have a footpath back there, at least holding the space for it. I would like to get these worked on, though I don't know. Well, you know what? We're just going to hold off a little bit on that. Let's get one thing done at a time. Maybe time to fast forward a little bit, you know? Let me open this up just so we can keep an eye. Agro farm. Flats, yeah. Yeah, construction's taking forever without many people, is it? So we got 2 more houses lined up here. Our adult population hasn't gone up yet in either house. As a matter of fact, this one's gone down. As long as we're keeping people happy. Number of sellers 0. That's not good. Yes, look, happiness is starting to dip a bit. Let me give you one more injection of people, I think. Yeah, hopefully that's that many more sellers that we get. I don't want that happiness dipping too much. Glad I caught that. Uh-oh. Go put it out. There we go. We got our firehouse in. I'm glad that was like... Yeah, the last thing I need to do is to have the construction office go, because then I would definitely have to buy a new one with... Uh-oh. We don't have firefighters. Oh, crap. No. No. Can I send these guys to work there? No. Is there a path? We're about to lose our darn... Keep clicking the wrong thing. Is there any way I can get a footpath that would... I want to just pay for this with the... Oh, we don't have dollars. Pay for this with rubles. Can I assign people from this house? Yes. Okay, go there, like the wind. I lost it already. Oh, man. Well, I have no... does that mean I lose all the vehicles, too? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Of all the buildings to burn, right? Is that the worst? Yeah, a bus to the fire. Well, now I got people assigned to go working in the fire station. Look, I lost the fire truck. I lost everything. All right. Yeah, let me demolish the road. Well, I hope that that's not that catastrophic for us. I hope I can fit this guy in now that I've... Come on. Let me get in there. I had him in there before. Yeah, I think I just have to build this with rubles, right? I mean, there's no way to build it. All right. Well, back to square one. Oh, look, at least it Oh, that's funny. It did auto search. Yeah, I don't want to do auto search. All right, so let's. Yeah. Well, failure is an option, and if I fail, I'm okay with it. I won't be happy about it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, you learn from your failures more than your successes in life. That is at the very least true in my life. So let's get some more vehicles. So we need to get a bus, and let's get. I want the fastest bus that has a decent number of people. So 85, 40 people. Yeah, this is still the best bus. All right, so now we need a covered hull, so we'll buy that again. And this is still the best dumpster, right? Yeah, we'll get 2 dumpers. Oh, the chat box, yeah. Well, even if, yeah, you know what? Okay, yeah, we can move the chat box in a minute. So let's get our 2 open hulls back. And we're definitely going to need an excavator, and we're definitely going to want a bulldozer. Now this time, maybe we could just get the tower crane there. See, like, good things do come sometimes. So we'll get the best tower crane, because, hey, why not, right? And then, let's see. What else are we missing? Anything? Gotta yell at us if... Oh, concrete. Yeah, concrete mixer. We'll get one of them. All right, now let's just make sure before we forget, we'll go to the firehouse and we'll get our check fire truck back. All right, now let's reassign our construction to this house. And then I don't want to leave that. Let's at least get those 2 constructions worked on, right? Let's get out of fast forward mode. That's probably not helping. And then I really want to I need to get these people not assigned to just the fire station. It would be nice if you could set a priority to these. Yeah. All right, so why are we not constructing? Oh, there's no source of workers. What? Oh, nothing is assigned. Okay. Well, let's redo that then. Gravel. Go here. Asphalt. Concrete. Steel bricks. Prefab. Boards. Components. All right, are we back in business now? What has this guy got on him? Oh, he's taking the crane. Wonderful. Good. And you know what? Now that we burnt down a building, I would just as soon have that. Now, let me come here. And let's see if I can't move that up at least some. Okay. There you go. Building on fire. Yeah, building destroyed. Okay. Alright, well there we go. Now I can see it. Hopefully I'll see it anyway, right? Sometimes I've been known not to pay attention to it. Alright, let me catch up with all your chats. I haven't been paying too much attention since I had my little catastrophe there. Yeah, the bus to the fire station would have been a good thing. No, I'm going to keep going. I mean, it's all part of the fun. Like, I'm just catching up with XL2S's reload the last save. Again, it's all part of the experience. Yeah, I'm playing the hardest, and I do have fires on the frequent, so that's why I knew I had to get the fire station. Look, I was building this house. I don't want to say as fast as I could, but I was certainly getting that house going so that I could at least assign some people to there without, I kind of want to get everything going at once, but certainly goes to show you, you need to, you need to get your firehouse going. Yeah, the game wasn't very friendly to me. Yeah, hey, look, it's easy to get upset with games. Trust me, if you know, I can't count on both hands the number of times I raged quit a game in my whole life, but it doesn't mean I don't sit back down the next time and get your feedback, the game's feedback, as you say. All right, so there we go. Like it's like it never happened, right? Everything is just, let's pretend that it was just a slight knock in our money. Not that we can afford many knocks in our money here, but hey, it is what it is. And like you said, I'm almost, the game smacked me, but like I'm almost more upset still that I made this mistake and that my happiness dropped because I had that set to go to the bus stop and then I didn't have people here. Like that to me is just a pure error, and that I let my happiness go to I lost all those people and had to spend, I don't know, whatever it was, 50 grand getting more people back in. So let's take a look where our happiness is standing. Yeah, we're okay. We don't seem to be going back up, but that's okay. 29 children. As far as I know, vehicles never break down. I've never seen one break down. You think that's... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the roadmap of development, if you're into the game, is definitely... Well, the next thing I'm checking out is the ability to mod the buildings. Like, I will, if I were you guys, if I can figure it out, which I would hope I could, I will definitely probably make a video even tomorrow morning and just post it up. I won't wait for it's not part of the regular series. I'll just get it posted up there because I think a lot of people would be interested in that. And I know I am. That's really cool. All right, so we're back in business, right? Yeah. We really want to get this guy done. Now, are we moving up on our constructions? Yeah, slowly but surely. Yeah, we got everything we need at both places, so that's good. So I think what we can do, even though it'll spread them a slightly amount thinner, is... I guess we should finish off that road, huh? Or that footpath, anyway. So that it's not 62% done. Yeah, dose escapes. Escapes are based on your happiness, and if you can keep your happiness like over 60 or 70, you don't get many escapees. So if we look at last month, say, the 2 escapes, and then if we come back here and look at the happiness, look how our happiness was dipping. So what that probably meant is part of that happiness dipping last month we got those escapees. And the reason I'm having people escape is because I don't have enough adults. So I have to keep an eye on this. Like, if we don't get enough adults, then we don't get enough people in being sellers or whatever, you know, or staff for the football field, so that these people can't get in there and get the things they want. So I'm going to be really happy when some of these babies and children start becoming adults. We're pretty good on our education. So if you look, I mean, it seems like that might be a lot, but really, you know, we have, what, 110 under 21-year-old people. Oh, look, we just got another person working age. Good. You know, and so those people, like, that's counts towards this number of people that need to be educated. So yeah. Yeah, definitely don't do it on your favorite game save, right? Like, do it on a test map. Yeah, well, definitely what I'll do is I will, even if I don't figure it all out, maybe I'll just post a video up there and you and I can, the group of us can discuss, you know, we can discuss it like through that video somehow. Like, that might be a good way to communicate. And then I can always, heck, we can make it a little series if we want to, just to share our knowledge with other people. I'm a big fan of that when it comes to games, you know. I mean, I can't tell you how many. One of the reasons I started doing the streams was because when Farming Simulator 17, there were so many people who didn't understand the soil mod. Remember, I don't know if you guys ever played that game, but it was a little complicated how you got your. And I just saw so many videos with people doing it wrong, and I just wanted to share, you know, share my knowledge about it. And then I just found I sort of add something to the game for me. I enjoy doing it. So I do, that's like a primary reason that I do this, is just to share my knowledge, and I'm very happy you guys are sharing yours tonight. I really appreciate it. I think that's great. I think that's what makes a good gaming community, when people help each other out, you know? Especially with a kind of complicated game like this, where we can all just share. All right. Well, anyway, look what we got. So isn't this wonderful? So we should get, I would think, some people over there anyway. I don't know that I really want to take people from here. Yeah, I don't want to really take anybody from here. Am I willing to buy a couple people? Yeah. All right. At least we have a few people in there, right? And I'll let them decide where they want to go to work. I don't care if I only have one firefighter, but hopefully some of these people will go to work there. Here we go. We got one firefighter. So that's, at this point, fine. Good. So that construction project's done. How are we doing? Yeah, I think I'll slow down on that. Let's fast forward a little bit, just because now it's just a matter of getting enough people up here to finish our farm. And once the farm is finished, I think we can... Yeah, I'm not much of an artist as far as modeling goes, but I mean, if I figure out the code part of it, that'll be one thing. And then, yeah, I guess it would... I don't know how hard it would be to change the modeling. I'm just not much of a graphic person. I've dabbled with it, but I'm just so generally unartistic, if that's a word, that, trust me, you don't want me drawing your portrait type thing, you know? All right, so Let's fast forward just a bit. Everything is in plain view. Yeah, I need to check it out. I mean, you guys have me so curious, but it's like I said, I have a secondary computer there, but at the same time, I don't have the game loaded in it, and I certainly don't want to mess with it in the middle of the live stream. So, no problem. I'm going to end it. You're not going to miss a whole lot, Michael, and whatever you do miss, this should go up, on my website, on the not website, the YouTube channel. And so you should be able to watch the end of it. But I definitely appreciate you coming out and hanging in. And I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm only going to go... I mean, there's a limit to how much I can sit here and talk before my voice starts going numb, I take breaks much more than this when I do do the regular series. Like, I can pause it whenever I want, kind of. Do little half-hour, 40-minute segments. So you won't miss too much. I appreciate you coming here. And I'll... Just so you know, guys, I'm going to try to plan on this each Friday night. I do have something of a social life, not a great one, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it every Friday night of my life. But take a look out for next weekend, next Friday, and let me know in whatever chats and comments. Is this a good-ish time for people? I mean, the guys that come here and participate, I could do it any time on a Friday. I could do it at 2 in the afternoon, my time, which is like 7 or 8 or 9 Europe time, Are you heading out as well, John? Good. So are most of you guys, it almost sounds like most of the people here are from Europe. I don't want to make that assumption. Or if you're from the East Coast of the United States, is 5 p.m., is that a little too early? Again, whatever works out for people. I don't want to... It just doesn't make too much difference on a Friday when I start this. At least not to me. We need more workers. There we go. We got 2 workers on that bus. Yeah, we just need more workers. Period. Yeah, I'm going to go for about another half hour. So, and again, this should be posted up if you guys wanted to see it again or catch the end. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a delay. Like it should be up by tomorrow, though, I think, on YouTube. Okay, good. Good to know about the time, that is. I know there's a fair delay in my responses, but yeah, I've done a few live streams in the past, and if you watch, if you do find the channel and you see where it says live streams, you'll see I did a few live streams of Flight Simulator, and it just, yeah, you get to go in 3 and 4 hours without a break, and it's just kind of tough. It's not, I don't want to make it sound like digging ditches tough, but, good. All right, so I really want to get this construction done on this farm. Is there anything else I can be doing? We kind of have, plan laid out for our gravel. Not to, I don't know that we want to get this going. So I guess trying to go back a half hour and say, what do we do next with our farm? I guess we definitely get a food thing going, huh? Are we better off putting the food thing, I think food and distillery down here, right? So that we can take advantage of this bus stop. And then because we really don't need any people out here at the farm at this point. Oh, is it not very good watching those? I tried. I tried to keep the reason we have the delay is supposedly because the the saving them will be better for the future. Like, in other words, for people that want to watch the replay, like apparently it'll be better. But I'll take a look about those. Like I'll just have to take a look. Okay. Because I really didn't mean to put pressure on you to stay. But yeah, but a little bit after 8 o'clock, we'll wrap it up. And I mean, things are going pretty well here. I think we probably end up kind of picking up from where we got to this week, I wonder if there's a way I could put on a Dropbox this save. Let's see. I have no idea if I could save this to the internet and then you guys could pick up from here, or maybe I'd even save. I mean, I know I have a good save of the original starting conditions, and then I could possibly even try to see if I couldn't save and then give you guys the file, and you can even mess around with it on your own. I don't know if you're interested in that at all, but if I could put it on a drop, I think I filled my Dropbox with something. I'll have to delete it out of there. I remember I don't know if that's a way people even transfer files these days, but it seems to work for me in the few times I ever use it. But I had to put some big file up there I know what it was. Somebody needed a copy of Microsoft Access, and I put it in there so that they could get the download because it was on my account, and whatever. You don't need the whole story, but apparently then they started sending me emails about your Dropbox is full. So, all right. So how are we doing? Come on, get done. Get done some construction project here anyway. So back to my question. What do you guys think? Come over to construction. I mean, I definitely think, even if we talk about doing fabric and clothing, I definitely think we should get the food and the distillery going, right? And while it would be a little bit of a pain to haul all the corn down here, I don't have to worry about hauling people all the way up to there. And I don't see myself putting... I mean, we could talk about putting it there, but then it's that much further we would have to haul stuff. And I'm just sort of eyeing up this semi-flat area right here as the place we would put the food factory. Now, the food factory, it has a big enough warehouse, I think. And same thing with the distillery. So like for the import warehouse, I don't think it's a particular problem to run trucks back and forth. Yeah, selling alcohol, I don't know if it's worth, I don't even know if they'll make it all the way up that road. I don't know. This was built, by the way, before you guys, some of you guys may have gotten here, but I can't really, you can see I don't know what I was thinking there. I was just going too far. But we have this road here. Let me slow it down while I'm wandering around the map. Like, I couldn't really change any of the elevation, so I just had to go with the flow. But we do actually have a road all the way up to Molna here. Now, one of my self-imposed rules is that I won't connect to this power until I've converted that to a gravel road. Because right now, even with the money we have left, I could just pay for with rubles, or just, like if we attached a high power wire and I just ran it in one big huge shot, like we could afford to just, and all the construction is kind of like done from this end, you know what I mean? Like we don't even need to be connected, and it would just do all the construction all the way up there. And I just don't, It's just one of those self-imposed, make it a little bit harder than it needs to be, just because otherwise, problem solved. I mean, we got enough money coming in. I cranked the powerhouse up. We're good to go, you know? Go east. When you say go east, do you mean like this direction or go to... The problem I have right now is I'm in the middle, like, and the other thought was if I have to go across here, it means I have to build a bridge. But I'm really actually, like, I kind of timed it out. In order to get to like a power station, like this I think is the closest power station there. I'm really like not that much closer this way, you know, like if we come up here and go, see, like it's just not, it's not that much closer. And Molna, which I consider north, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but oops, where it got lost. Now I have no idea where I'm at. There it is. You know, it's, I don't have to go across the bridge if I go up that way, so. Yep, selling alcohol. I want to get the food just so I don't have to pay for the food, and I don't think it would be that big a deal. Let's take a look at the prices, right? Why not? We have a little time before anything needs to be decided. So food is, you know, if we could sell food, it's 100 and, well, it's 125, and then alcohol, yeah, 261. I don't see any reason why we couldn't do both unless we said, well, do we have enough? I mean, fabric is not worth it, but if you take a look at the clothes at 1,400, that's very tempting to me. Yeah, the chat froze again. Well, the last time I just typed something into it, right? It seemed to, let me try that again. Like, there we go. So, see, when I type, I mean, I know there's a delay and all that, but literally for me, when I typed that in, it was like 2 seconds later, or not even 2 seconds later, a second later, it popped up on the other screen. But yeah, I've been looking at the other computer a little bit better so that I don't miss you guys so much. Like I said, it's no big deal for me. The only thing I worry about is if you looked at the last live stream, like you might think I was insane. Oh, I spent the last money. I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could... Clicking on it's not too much different than typing in test, but yeah. But it did, yeah, whatever I did, it's a good idea. I don't necessarily need to type it in. Oh, how did I spend the last dollar? Oh, yeah, my poor last dollar. I was sort of saving that dollar. Where did it go? My dollar. Look, it's not listed there. Not last month. Gravel? Who would be buying gravel? Oh, you know what I probably did? Did I click on... Maybe when I did a... You know what I think I did is like when I knocked down... I don't know if you remember, but I put these houses in and I now auto-purchased the roads. I might have clicked spend dollars. Yeah, that's a shame. I spent my last American dollar. Yeah, oh well. Yeah, I bet you... and look, there's... You know, this year... Import from Western countries. Gravel, yeah. Look, it says -$8. That's weird. Oh, this year. Yeah, well, that would... Maybe earlier in the year I probably spent something. I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, that's... Yeah, I bet you that's how it happened. If I had to bet money. Yeah, or exactly. Yeah, that's another one that I could have. And I was certainly panicked at that moment to try to get that done as fast as possible. So that's even a more likely suspect is that. All right, so how are we doing? Are we? We're done that footpath, but we still. I think I'm gonna just here. Let's fast forward. Now, what do we need to do? Well, really, I mean, the crops don't do us too much good without the next step. So let's slow it back down a second. So I'm not hearing any great, outcry of what I should do, which is okay. So I think I'm going to plop a food factory, like right kind of here. Is there any reason I wouldn't? Let's level it up a bit. Let's just, oh yeah. Might as well level this ground as much as I can without. All right, so that would work. Let me just see what about the distillery. Yeah, the distillery's a little smaller. I kind of remember that. It's getting kind of far away from the. Just level out a little area here. Now, I don't want to get too close to that guy because he has a connection coming out the back for bitumen. Not that I would ever use it, but why get too close to him, right? Let's just level out a little more. Give you guys a bit of a chance to speak up. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Like, well, here, let's put this guy down first. See if we can combine their driveways a little. Make one less node, right? Well, I'm not doing no pause, just so you know. I will pause it if I feel that it's getting too hectic. But yeah, if it were no pause, like in the beginning, I paused plenty. Like when I built that whole road up there, I paused it. There's just, at this point, there's not a lot of reason for me to pause it. Like it's even just slowing down the time is enough. But if I really needed to, I certainly would probably pause it. Again, they're just plugging away at that construction up there. There's no huge need to pause too much at this moment. All right, so let's build a distillery. Can I put that guy? Yeah, I just said don't put him too close to there, right? But then I hate the way when the buildings get too close to the side of the hill and you can't even really smooth it out in the future. All right, so there we go. We'll have a distillery and a food processing. I think I will, even though it might take away from the manpower a little bit, get some people busy. At least building those roads right there, right? And yeah, so that's at least we'll be able to get food and alcohol. Like you said, it might even be worth sending a truck up, if nothing else, as an experiment, just to see if it's worth all the fuel to go and sell it. And then we would talk about what we would do if we ever put in a clothing industry. Not sure exactly where we'd put that. Probably should also, well, let's see, how are we doing with people? We still have the 10 people there. We're down to 46 here. Yeah, and look, the darn happiness is going to start dropping. These kids seem to stay kids for an awful long time. Come on, grow up. And as far as our education goes, we seem in decent shape, but we're down to 3 university educated people, which is we're going to have to buy more of those at some point. All right, well, before I have a catastrophe, I think I'm just going to get a couple more immigrants. Just to make sure that they stay happy. See, look, that, I don't know if you guys can tell, but that happiness was dropping just ever so slightly there. Let's see, if we look in the houses. Yeah, see, 17 children there. There's a bunch here. Look, you're 20, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, we got children in the pipeline. They're just not there yet, you know? Which is okay. I was wondering how fast I need to build this other building, and not that urgently. I think we're better off getting this going. Yeah, at some points in life, it's not worth adding that much stress. It's one of the reasons I play games like this is because you can pause it. I mean, when you're playing like a shooter game, then I think in some ways it's, you know, more unrealistic to pause and, you know, go back to a save and all that stuff. Where with this, because of time scale being, like, you know, what, people grow up and die in the matter of an hour or two, in a sense, in a game like this. You know. Yeah, this is, we'll see. We're kind of making progress still, right? I mean, we haven't completely run out of money yet. And we have no workers coming in on that bus. So that's, yeah. You know what? I want to bite the bullet before it becomes an issue. Get 10 more workers. Eventually I'm going to have to buy, keep an eye on those things. Check the price. Clothes is so tempting. You know what that beep is? I need to get a battery for my cable. Like, you have a backup battery. I'm in an area that, you know, pretty rarely ever lose power. And even if I lost it for, I mean, sometimes we have storms and stuff once in a great while. But then I usually tend to lose it for hours on end. And I have a generator I can hook up and actually, if nothing else, just to power my computer, you know, and my coffee pot. Yeah, so it's the backup battery is missing from the, like, the cable. Well, it's like not DSL, it's fiber optic. They call it Fios here, you know, Verizon Fios. And it's the battery. I tried to take the battery out of it. It's actually sitting on my kitchen table right now. And yeah, it's annoying. It's actually been beeping like that for a month. Because the battery goes bad. It's like, and then they want like $60 for this battery that you can buy on Amazon or some other place for like $5. So, crooked company. I am not some anti-corporate kind of person. I think corporations have their purpose. They, you know, a lot of people throughout the world work for corporations and are happy to do so. And maybe you don't like working for a corporation, but a lot of people do, you know. They provide a lot of people a lot of jobs and therefore a lot of wealth. But at the same time, when you want to charge $50 for a $5 battery, you're just being an evil corporation at that point. Because most people are too dumb to know that they could, I'm not saying that. People just aren't aware that they can, it's like a standard battery that's in every emergency light in the United States, you know? So, well, guys, it is 8 o'clock, and I'm not sure that this is. Let's get to the point we've finally built this silly. Good Lord, come on! So I increased my workers. Hopefully, we'll get a few other workers up here, and we still got 166 days. Let's go back to fast forward time. Probably getting another bus for the thing wouldn't hurt either. Are we getting many? Oops, I missed the bus, didn't I? There he is. So he's got 7 workers. Yeah, so we're probably missing a fair number. Well, then we need the workers for up here. We just need people. Yeah, 2 a.m. It's getting late for kind of everybody, except for maybe if someone's on the West Coast. So I don't mean to torture you guys with staying up all night. I won't do anything to the map. Like I said, I'll even probably try to save it and see if I can't upload it. You guys don't, whatever. If you guys want to mess with it, you could. If I can do that pretty easily, I will probably do it through Dropbox, and I would leave the link in the video because I know I can change the description of the video of this once it goes up. So let's see. So yeah, let's stop once this gets built. And then so our first task next Friday would be to get the distillery, I think, going. Hopefully by then some of our babies will have grown up. Yeah, so you guys are what, on the western side or eastern side of Europe, sounds like. Yeah, here, just so you know, it's like 8 p.m. So it's still, for me, it's relatively early. I have a new task in life is to go figure out the, changing the buildings a little bit. But other than that, it's really not late here at all yet. And I'll go give my buddy a call back before he goes to sleep because he seemed a bit agitated. Not agitated, but he definitely wanted to talk about something. He understood that I was busy, but he had something on his mind. So I will talk to him hopefully before he goes to bed. Which he stays up late watching sports half the time. So good. So let's take a final look at how our people are doing. We've got our well, let's do this year, right? Yes. Yeah, look, we got a nice bump in population. We got plenty of babies. We got plenty of children. And our workers, unemployed workers, is way down. That's good. Yeah, I mean, we're increasing. It just doesn't. Oh, look, how do we get another educated university worker? I don't really understand that. Because I had 3, right? Oh, was it this year? Because I'm one. No, that doesn't have anything to do. I thought I only had 3 at one point. How did I get a 4th one? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yep, our population dipped down a slight bit. Anyway. You can flood the map. Come on, busload of people. Got 2 workers. You know what? I would get another bus. Go for it. I would get another bus, but it's like this is, at this point, the only building that's way out here that I think would really benefit from that. And it's so close to completed by this point that there we go. I think that's just about done. Look at that, 99% almost. All right, rather than just stare at that. Unfinished roads. Yeah, we need to get them done to here so we can start building them. I'm not going to worry about building the house. So yeah, next week when we get started, we'll get started building these guys, and those two people stay there long enough to finish. Please don't stop at 99.7. There we go. We got a farm. So why don't we make the last thing that we do? We'll buy a couple mechanisms. Why don't we get 2 tractors? All right. Now, are all the fields attached? Oh, we don't really have anything attached, do we? Because we did this way. So why don't we... Oop, come on. Good, that attached. Now, will you attach even if you look goofy? No, of course not. How about if I go this way? There we go. So now it should auto search and find them, but... Yep, there we go. All right, well, let's... No road. Really? It looked like it had a road. There you go. You gotta like that right there, don't you? That's a road. Talk about unneeded nodes, right? Is that big field too? Yeah. So is this guy? It should be attached now, right? There is no road connection. What? It looks like there is. You sure? Okay, well let's see. No, you won't do that for me. Will you do this? Let's move this over here for a second so it's not. There is no road connection. So what, is this just too much of a mess for you? Trees underwater. All right, now I know I cut that guy off. Let's... Sorry, let me take care of this bit of a mess that I have. There you go. So now at least a few more fields are connected. Yeah, see, this isn't connected here. That's not connected. There you go. So now we have, it's underneath the chat, but how many fields do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there we go. So good. Well, guys, thank you very much. Yeah, I haven't even, I guess I've been having so much fun playing with the game that it hasn't dawned on me too much to mess with the game too much. Yeah, the road construction was... I'm going to have to straighten this mess out. But first, let's get the gravel road built. And then once the fields are planted, and we'll just have to bite the bullet in here and get this constructed real quick. So there we go. So we got 2 fields being planted. They'll probably be all harvested before I get this stuff done. We don't really have a grain silo, but we have the ability to put one in. I did set aside some room right there so we can stick that in based on the finances. Oh, we don't have any power up to here, which, you know what, we really need to get this gas station. Oof. All right, the last thing I'm going to do, then I'm going to say goodbye. Let's just add that gas station to their work list so that these tractors aren't driving all the way down here every time. Yeah, well, thank you, John, and Sissendem, and, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for coming, and Mikhail, thank you for hanging in to the very end. I assume you're still there. Sorry it's so late your time, and, you know, I'll plan on doing it again 5 p.m. my time, which should be in the neighborhood of 10 and 12 p.m. your time next Friday. And if you guys ever miss it, like I said, it should be up. It should be up on the channel, so you can catch up with it. But let me pause it right now, and I'll just save it right here, and we'll pick up from the same exact location. So. Cement silo? Okay, well, I'll give that a shot too. Yep, good night, Mikhail. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Yeah, cement silo, you know what? I'll give that one a shot too. How's that sound? Just so if I do a video, I'll do it on the cement silo. So. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. Thank you again, and I'll be in touch. Thanks, John. Have a good night. Yep. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you had a good time. I'm glad you guys got to chat with each other as much as anything else, just so you know. It was good to see you guys exchanging with each other. I guess I didn't see that he left, but I guess XL2S he left, XL2S. So I want to thank him too. He was very helpful in the beginning. So anyway, all right. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. And bye-bye.